4th of February 2023, and it is one of my favourite weekends of the year for the Sunday Roundup, where we are looking at the Black Library Showcase for 2024. So without further ado, let's jump straight into all that wordy goodness. Kicking off, we have Big Dacca, an Uthak Blackhawk novel by Mike Brooks, and the adventures of Uthak Blackhawk continue as the Gargant Smasher finds himself in hot water with the Mech Lord, but he's not going down without a fight. Out of time and options, Blackhawk plunges his warband into the mysterious webway, only to end up in the one place that might be more dangerous than the bad side of the biggest mech, Komorra. In The Big Dacca by Mike Brooks follows on directly from Brutal Cullion and will be up for pre-order in English, French and German. And speaking of Uthak, he's also subject to the latest Black Library Celebration commemorative series miniature, joining the illustrious likes of Captain Messinius, Inquisitor Eisenhorn, Commissar Safarina Rain, and more. Uthak is fantastically detailed plastic miniature, hefting his mighty snaz hammer while balancing his custom shooter on top his loyal-ish squig Princess. And isn't Princess lovely, boys and girls? Isn't Princess just lovely? And isn't that a fine miniature? I think I might have to get me one. I haven't painted a green skin in a good long while, so I might just have to get me one. But next up, we're looking at the art of the Horus Heresy, and immerse yourself in the world of the Horus Heresy with an awesome new art book containing over 100 illustrations. This hefty tome joins the Art of Warhammer 40,000 and the Art of the Age of Sigmar art books to celebrate the impact of a characterful artwork in the Horus Heresy series, and also includes detailed commentary from cover artist Neil Roberts on many of his most iconic pieces. And I think that is going to be a fairly large format, probably the same format size as our army books and other rule books, so we'll make a nice coffee table book to go along with your Art of Warhammer 40,000 and Art of Age of Sigmar books. The cover there is absolutely fantastic, and I think Sanguinius has never looked better. So let's move on to the next thing, which is Deus in Carmine, an anniversary edition. So Deus in Carmine by James Swallow is the Black Library celebration. It is also a time to reminisce of some of the greatest novels of the past, and Deus in Carmine is high on the list. To commemorate 20 years since its original release, a new anniversary edition of the classic Blood Angel's tale is on its way. Decked out in a slick cover with silver foil, 4 artwork pages and an introduction from the author, Deus in Carmine Anniversary Edition is an awesome collector's piece for dedicated Blood Angels fan and a great way to relive the story. And if this is not a Games Workshop exclusive and is available from your friendly neighbourhood games, friendly neighbourhood game stores and such, I suggest you get it from there because they're great. Otherwise, a pre-order like this is going to go super fast, and you are going to see it for at least 4 times the RRP on eBay within seconds of, in fact, probably earlier than it's actually available from Games Workshop, because these people know exactly what they're doing. Do not give money to the scalpers. Please, please help us all by trying to beat the scalpers. They are the scum of the earth. But moving on, we have got the Ghosts of Barak Minos, which is a Dreckie Flint novel by Guy Haley. So Dreckie Flint is back up to his neck in trouble again in The Ghosts of Barak Minos by Guy Haley. The swashbuckling and adventurous sky captain is sent on an incredible quest when a crewmate long thought lost to the open skies turns up alive and raving mad. With shadowy assassins from Ulgu in pursuit and the fabled lost city of Barak Minos calling, Flint embarks on another hair-raising adventure that will test the limits of his skill, luck and bravado in a direct sequel to his action-packed debut novel, The Archnaut's Oath. And again, these popular books and popular characters are going to sell out quick, so get in nice and early. That queuing system is a pain in the butt, but it's the best we've got at the moment. Something we're all got to deal with. Next up, from the inestimable Dan Abnett, we're looking at Rise of the Dead, a Warhammer novel. So every year Warhammer fans and the Black Library readers vote to bring back two of their most beloved stories in new paperback editions in the Reader's Choice Survey. Rise of the Dead is a classic Dan Abnett tale from the world of legend, telling the story of two Empire soldiers whose careers take a sharp turn after tumultuous events pitch them on opposite sides of the battlefield. Soon they find themselves racing towards an inevitable showdown, one of which will define the fate of their souls forever. Dan Abnett, one of my favourite Warhammer and Games Workshop authors. Get it, it's going to be great. And I think that the second one of these celebration novels is Lord of Nights from Simon Spurrier. So few names strike such terror into helpless souls as the Night Lords, and the full horror of their cruelty is revealed in Lord of the Night by Simon Spurrier. A young interrogator strives to prove herself worthy of the Inquisition despite having misgivings surrounding their methods, and her fate will be thrown into turmoil as a traitor space marines prepare to invade an Imperial hive world. Isn't that cool? And of course, we are looking at Ghazghkull Thraka, Prophet of War by Nate Crowley. Witness the meteoric rise of the deadliest orc in the galaxy in a new paperback edition of Ghazghkull Thraka, Prophet of the War by Nate Crowley. This blood-soaked tale of slaughter and righteous battle in the way only orcs can muster, told from a somewhat reliable perspective of Ghazghkull's favourite grot, Makari. Next up, we're looking at The End of Death, Volume 3, coming to French and German readers. So the showdown of the millennium reaches its climax in The End of Death, Volume 3 by Dan Abnett, now coming to French and German language editions for the very first time. It's an unmissable tale for fans of the Horus heresy, standing at the crossroads of history as one fateful duel sets the scene for 10 millennia of darkness. Also coming for our German readers is Dawn of Fire, Sea of Souls by Chris Raitt, which that cover looks to be starring a very dapper Eddie Murphy. The 7th installment of the Dawn of Fire series charts the ongoing trials of the Indomitus Crusade in a new German edition. The epic tale continues in Sea of Souls by Chris Raitt as Roboute Guilliman's crusade to reclaim the Imperium sees the fleet Secundus primed to launch a major offensive into the Eye of Terror itself, hoping to strike at the heart of the arch-enemy's forces with a massive combined force of Space Marines, Astra Militarum and Adeptus Sororitas, and apparently Eddie Murphy. But there we go. Next up, we're looking at a French edition of the Sapphires Kane novel The Greater Good by Sandy Mitchell. So continue the unbelievable adventures of Commissar Sapphires Kane, hero of the Imperium, in a new French edition of The Greater Good by Sandy Mitchell. The cunning Tau Empire are up to their old tricks, using devious ploys like ceasefires and peaceful negotiation, all these tricksy things. But impromptu alliances may be what separates survival from destruction when the ravenous Tyranid swarm bears down on Quadravia. And of course, no Black Library celebration would be complete without the anthology, and the anthology for 2024 is looking particularly fine with our little grot on the cover there. This year's anthology of short stories to coincide with the Black Library celebration is packed with explosive action from some of your favourite authors, featuring 5 stories from across the Warhammer world. For a limited time, starting on the 10th of February, a digital copy of this companion will be added free of charge to all orders placed on blacklibrary.com web store. You'll be able to acquire a physical copy at Warhammer stores and certain independent retailers during their own Black Library celebrations. Contact your local store for details. Oh, excuse me. Please note that the selection of stories differs ever so slightly between English, French and German collections. If it's at all possible, I suggest that you get all your pre-orders from your friendly local game store. My favourite is the wonderful Mighty Lancer Games down there in sunny Bridlington by the Sea. Use the QR code on screen or the link in the description down below to get up to 20% off all your Games Workshop purchases. And massive discounts on everything else that they do, from paints to brushes to other gaming systems and all the great things that they do. Mighty Lancer Games are a fantastic, friendly people, and you can't go far wrong. It's short and sweet this week, and I'd like you to do all those wonderful games workshop, all those wonderful YouTube things for me. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below if you've got anything to say on what I've been talking about. Just say hi if you haven't. There are links down below for my Discord and the various other social media bits and bats, maybe even Ko-fi and Patreon, which you can see on screen here and here. As ever, I've been Waylander. You've been absolutely amazing. I love all your faces. I hope to see you all again soon. And goodbye.